Namaskar, Swagat hai aap sabhi ka. Welcome to the Embassy Weekly Online. Well, Russia is covered with snow, as there was a supermassive snowfall this Friday. First one in this season. Let's recap some key topics of this week. On November 12, Russian President Vladimir Putin took part in the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit, held via video conference and chaired by New Zealand. The summit participants discussed the post-pandemic recovery of the regional economies and defined the APEC's key focus areas for the period until 2040.
Our common support to the WHO could further move towards mass vaccination. Access to vaccines, as has been mentioned, has not been so far provided to countries that need it most, and Russia has proposed to its partners recently to work on the mutual recognition of vaccines and vaccine certificates, and I strongly believe that the quicker we do this, the sooner we will be able to come back to normal. Russia stands against protectionism in the global economy. We oppose unilateral, politically motivated, restrictive measures that hinder competition. We strongly believe that it is in the interest of the entire global community to reinforce the global trade system. I would like to note another important aspect. By improving APEC and making it more effective, could be facilitated by working with various integrational structures like the Eurasian Economic Union, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and Russia will do everything to facilitate these ties.
On November 11, we celebrated the 200th birth anniversary of the great Russian writer and philosopher Fyodor Dostoevsky. By the way, not only in Russia, but also UNESCO declared 2021 as the Year of Dostoevsky. A large number of events on the occasion was organized all over the world, including in India. For example, the art exhibition The Clairvoyant of the Human Soul, Fyodor Dostoevsky, was inaugurated at the Russian House in New Delhi. The exposition included 48 works of the Russian artists of the 19th and 21st centuries. That was portraits of the writer as well as illustrations to his works. Moreover, Russian House in Trivandrum has released a book titled Our Dostoevsky, which consists of a compilation of articles by famous Malayalam writers inspired by Fyodor Dostoevsky. We are very grateful to our Indian friends for preserving the good name of one of the most prominent writers whose contribution to the world's cultural heritage is acknowledged globally. We noted that the American politicians, including former US President Barack Obama, were criticizing Russia for allegedly insufficient efforts to counter the effects of the climate change at the 26th session of the Conference of the Parties to the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. These groundless accusations are perplexing, to say the least. Russia holds a consistent position on climate change that doesn't fluctuate to fit in the political environment as it is happening in the USA. Russia's efforts on this direction are concrete and comprehensive. After all, climate change is a serious national challenge for our country. The climate is warming up in Russia faster than the world average, as it was repeatedly stressed by Russian President Vladimir Putin, including in his address to participants of the World Leaders Summit on Action and Forest and Land Use, held within the framework of the COP26 in Glasgow.
I am convinced that the conservation of forests and other natural ecosystems is a key component of international efforts to address global warming and reduce emissions of greenhouse gases. About 20% of the world's forests are located in our country. We take most important measures to protect them. We improve forest management and fight illegal logging and forest fires. We are expanding reforestation areas. We have been consistently increasing financing in this area.
On November 10, Secretary of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, Nikolai Patrushev, took part in the Delhi Regional Security Dialogue on Afghanistan.
First of all, I am grateful to the Indians for the exemplary organization of this event. I am convinced that today's meeting will give additional impulse to the of cooperation of our states in the Afghan dimension and will help the speediest restoration of long-lasting peace in that country. The collective initiative enunciated by its country participants, initiative to organize an international donor conference, will help us move towards normalization of the situation in Afghanistan and, as a result, to ensure stability in the region.
Later that day, national security advisors, including Nikolai Patrushev, were received by Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. Afterwards, a Russian head of the delegation had bilateral talks with his Indian counterpart, Ajit Doval. They discussed plans for further cooperation between Russia and India in the sphere of security and touched upon a number of regional problems. Special attention was paid to cooperation on various information security issues. We would like to reiterate our deep gratitude to the Indian side for organizing such a timely and significant multilateral event resulted in the Delhi Declaration. The sides reaffirmed strong support for peaceful, secure and stable Afghanistan, stressed the need to form an open and truly inclusive government representing the will of the entire people of Afghanistan, as well as to combat threats of terrorism, radicalization and drug trafficking emanating from its territory. Together with that, we urge Indian media not to sneak out for doubtful sensations. Russia's stance is solid and goes in general line with the approaches stipulated in the declaration. On November 10, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov had a meeting with the Foreign Minister of Belarus, Vladimir Putin. They discussed implementation of the program of coordinated actions in the framework of the union state between our countries, as well as the current developments in the world. Answering questions from media on the situation at the border between Belarus and European countries, Sergei Lavrov stated that Minsk has repeatedly suggested holding consultations, coming to terms and resolving these issues in accordance with international humanitarian law. But this was never mentioned in public rhetoric by the European officials. There is no other way but to talk and decide what has really happened with the facts in hand. But this is what our European partners are like, stressed the minister. He also noted that the migration crisis in some of the European countries is much more serious and violations of the human rights there are more severe. They should probably look at themselves first, since there is a lot to see, noted the minister. That is all for now. Thank you for watching us. Stay tuned to our social media and website, and see you online.